In December of 1900, 3 men went missing off the Flannan Islands off the coast of Scotland. These men would never be seen or heard from again, and today I try and figure out exactly what happened to them. This is the mystery of the missing Flannan Island keepers. Thomas Marshall, James Ducat, and Donald MacArthur were all assigned to lighthouse duty on one of the most remote islands in the British Empire. After no signal coming from the lighthouse, a crew with supplies went and found the lighthouse completely abandoned. As the crew went into the lighthouse, they noticed that a meal was half-eaten and 2 life jackets were missing. Considering the fact that the 3 men who worked the lighthouse and the roaming sheep were the only inhabitants of the island, it's truly bizarre seeing all of them vanish with minimal trace. When the lighthouse log was checked, there were some very strange entries, complaining of the worst wind that these seamen have ever seen, another crew member who was quiet while the other was crying. It seems as if they all believed that whatever was coming for them was too much for them to handle. These crewmen had 40 years of experience combined and were some of the Royal Navy's best. Even if it was some major storm, these men were in a lighthouse that was less than a year old. And while some would theorize that the storm is what killed these men, the last log in the captain's diary would say otherwise. It read, December 15th, storm ended, sea calm, God is over all. Now it should be noted that while the last log in the captain's log was on December 15th, no one went to the island to rescue them until December 17th. Now when the crew did arrive, they did notice that windows were broken at about 110 feet above sea level. It's theorized that this was caused by some giant wave. Now I'd like to discuss the many theories as to what happened. The first theory is that they were kidnapped. As being naval officers, they may have some intelligence. However, the only major conflict that the British Royal Navy was involved with at the time was the Second Boer War. That war was exclusively fought in South Africa, which did not have a navy capable of pulling off that maneuver, especially since the South Africans used guerrilla warfare for the majority of that war. If it wasn't the South Africans, were there any other European countries looking to kidnap some British officers? While the Germans were very hostile with the British at the time, the idea of going into British waters for 3 lighthouse workers seems a little absurd. Let's look at the other theories and see if we can come back to something a little more logical. Another more prominent theory is that they did this to start new lives and maybe go to the New World. And while it's entirely possible being naval officers and all, they did leave family and children behind. It seems like that if they wanted to go to the New World, there would have been better ways to accomplish that. Another theory is that a fight broke out, and while 2 men died, the other one committed suicide and remorse. But again, we find ourselves in this same hole of there being no evidence, especially since there was no blood at the scene. To me, the most popular theory is the least likely. The theory states that they were swept away on that storm in December 15th. However, in almost every missing person case in that area, bodies would be found along the shore at some point or another, and yet no bodies were ever recovered. Another part of the theory that doesn't hold is the captain's log, which again stated, December 15th, storm ended, sea is calm, God is over all. Again, while no theory has any direct evidence, the theory of getting swept away by the ocean has direct evidence against it. I guess that's where I'll leave this video off. A bunch of theories, no dead ends, but no direct way to go. Thank you for watching, and thank you to my researcher, Delightful Moon.
You should come with me to the end of the world without telling your parents and your friends